Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Life Talk. And on this edition of Life Talk, we are on location in Labella's Cucina. I am cooking with my mother, Sharon Labella, today in her kitchen. And we are going to be actually using a very unique food today, but yet it's a food that's been found in the Bible. And you know, one of the things I always say when you're going through life is that when life gives you difficult situations, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Well, what do, Mom, when life hands you leeks?
You make leeks.
And so that's what we're going to do today. I figured if there's anybody who knows what to do with leeks, it's my mom. My mom's an Italian cook. She's an amazing cook. Some of you know that, and the rest of you are about to find that out. She can make anything with anything, including leeks. So on today's episode of Life Talk, we are going to use leeks, potatoes, chicken sausage, and even some eggs for an additional an add-on to this recipe. You don't have to use eggs, but you certainly can. And so we're going to show you all of that today. And basically, leeks, potatoes, sausage. Do you have a name for this? Or there's a word in Italian that you use a lot, Jim Bop. Is that what you would call this?
It's kind of like that, yes.
Okay, so that's a word that basically is a catch-all, right?
Right.
Okay, and so we're going to get started. And just before we do, what kind of plant is this, or what kind of family is this in?
Well, this is actually what they call a wild leek, which is called a ramp. Rhymes with camp. And we find it only grows for about 3 weeks, so it doesn't have a real long time to harvest it, but it's beautiful. It's got beautiful big bulbs, as you can see, and very pretty green leaves, and the whole plant is edible. And it's a cross between an onion and a garlic, but so delicious when you add it to what we're adding it to today. You can make soup out of this too. In the Bible, if you know, it was mentioned, leeks were mentioned, not ramps, because ramps are wild leeks, but still the same family. And you know that when they were in the wilderness, they complained and complained about having manna. And they wanted to go back to Egypt because they said they could eat their leeks and onions. So it's very sustainable, very tasty, and hopefully when you make it yourself, you'll find the same to be true.
And green foods contain incredible nutrients. As we know, green foods are very powerful. Leeks in particular contain vitamin A, they contain selenium, and also chromium. So vitamin A, very good. Beta carotene, good for vision, good for skin and mucous membrane. Also, selenium is a powerful antioxidant, and chromium is being looked at very powerfully for its ability to perhaps lower glucose and blood sugar, because it makes insulin more sensitive to sugar and to handle it better. So what a nutritious food, dating all the way back to the Bible. And so with that, let's get cooking. Normally I say let's get talking, but today let's get cooking.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of diagonal slices like a cross in the potato. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to soften the potato in the microwave and get it ready for when we want to put it in the pot and finish sauteing it quickly, because potatoes take a long time to cook and these do not. So you have to use your noggin and realize, okay, let me get this started. So we're making crosses in the potatoes, and I'll let Sherry Ann do the last one, and then she can put them right in the microwave for 6 minutes.
I don't use knives very often, so my mom's not going to let me do too much cutting because I am not a knife person. I'm not really a chef or a cook, but I love good, clean, healthy food. So I'm not one that uses a lot of knives, but Mom will be helping me and assisting me. And so what we're doing here is just putting a cross this way, and we've already washed our hands, and a cross that way into the potato to open it up a little bit.
And we're going to place it on this paper towel, put it in the microwave for 6 minutes. While she's doing that and getting those ready to go, I'm going to start preparing the leeks. And what we're going to do is cut the bulbs off. I'll get started with that for her. And then from there, we're going to, this is a little tedious part because they're small and you really have to watch your fingers. But they need to be cut so that they cook quickly and they get a nice translucent look in the pan.
Cutting them down, cutting them in half a little bit.
And it's a little bit tedious because they're round and they want to roll around, so you got to be a little bit careful with the knife. So I'm going to do the majority of this. And I'm going to ask Sherry Ann to put the rest of that oil that's up there, which is olive oil. It's a light olive oil, which means it's good for sauteing and frying. Now you can use virgin olive oil using less of the virgin oil, but just a light oil.
So I'm just coating the pan with the oil and spreading it all around.
And then I'm going to have her turn the heat on to medium high. No, actually we'll do high to get it started. And we have a New Wave, and Sherry will tell you about the New Wave stovetop.
So I don't know anything about this, so my mom's going to have to tell me how to get it started. But she uses what's called a New Wave because, you know, to be honest with you, this is what Mom has told me. As you get older, you don't always want to deal with gas, and you don't always want to have to worry about the stove and things like that. Just a safety issue. So she has a New Wave oven, which shuts off automatically. There's no gas and no flames. It's electric, but again, it shuts off automatically, and that's the key. And so this here is the New Wave cooker. And what's unique about them is your pan, it only uses certain pans. It has to have a pan that if you take a magnet and stick it to the bottom, if the magnet sticks, then you can use the pan on the New Wave.
And the New Wave simply operates with the touch of a button. You hit the high heat and you press start. What's unique about this too is that wherever the pan isn't, this does not get hot. You can put your hands on there. Little kids can come up. You don't want them to, but
you don't want them to. Don't try this at home.
And they touch that. They will not get burned unless it's absolutely under the pan. That's where the heat is. So as I'm cutting these, I'm preparing them to go into the pan for a light saute, which Sherry Ann is going to stir them around so that they cook evenly. So I'm going to have her start to put that in the pan.
Get you?
Yes. And I will continue cutting. And
now, can you use all of this leek or just some of it?
The entire ramp is used, which is awesome. There's no waste on this beautiful, beautiful product. I love these bulbs because they're so white and they're so tender and they're so tasty. And so this should be about the end of the bulbs, and then I'm going to show you how to cut the leaves.
So just to review, cut the bulbs off and then cut them smaller, slice them up a little bit, and then put them in your pan with hot oil. Mix them around.
And you want to add a little salt and a little pepper. And we're going to lower it down now to a medium heat.
We use, I don't use a lot of salt. In fact, I rarely use it at all. But when we do use salt, we use Himalayan pink salt. That's what my mom likes to use because it actually has more minerals. And then you know what? I feel it has more taste. I think it tastes really good.
So those are going to take a few minutes to saute. And while she's doing that, you need to, okay, they're still going. I thought I heard them beep. I was talking about the potatoes. They're not quite ready. Okay, so what I'm doing now, Sherry Ann can lift that up to you and you can see how I'm cutting those.
Slicing down the leaves into like kind of like square pieces in a way, but certainly much smaller than they were.
I mean, look at the green on this. Isn't that amazing? You know how healthy that is? And it stays that green when you cook it too. And onion smell and really gets your saliva glands going.
Yes, my eyes are watering a little bit because remember, again, it's in the onion, scallion, garlic, and it has a garlic smell. I smell the garlic.
So when those become translucent, then we add the green part. Now we're also going to add the chicken sausage to that and saute them up at the same time. And we've already got some of that cut already, so if you want to show them that.
We have some, so you can use sausage in this. This is sliced pieces of chicken sausage, and this particular sausage has some flavor to it. What is it, broccoli or spinach?
Spinach.
There's some spinach in the chicken sausage, and I don't eat any pork sausage at all. I feel it's healthier to eat the chicken and the turkey, so that's what we eat a lot of, and beef as well. And so that's what we're using as chicken sausage.
Check the potatoes, so I'm going to have Sherry Ann do that. See if they're soft enough for me to
you
start
can check on that.
slicing.
Potatoes are now cooling off. We have the bulbs cooking to a translucent lucent color. We have some sausage in there, chicken sausage. And at what point she's adding a little bit more olive oil, because the more you add, certainly the more it absorbs up the olive oil. We did put a little salt in there. We've got the potatoes standing by.
The potatoes eat up the oil, so we have to add a little more. Okay, so we're going to show you what these look like when they start to get translucent. So I'm going to come around here and show you that. Okay, can you see how translucent and how pretty those are? And we'll go back to the sauteing.
And you can hear that that's beeping. She has removed the pan from the New Wave oven, or New Wave stovetop they call it.
And it automatically shut.
It's automatically shut off, and it's letting you know. And my mother also has the New Wave stove as well. It's just a little stove that she uses for everything. So it's an incredible, convenient, safe technology. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these potatoes because they're ready.
We're slicing the potatoes, which are perfectly done, so that they saute up nicely in the pan. And at the same time, I'm going to continue cutting a little more sausage in there.
We're using red potatoes. I left the skin on because there's a lot of nutrients in the skin. I did pick out the eyes and I scrubbed them. So I took out the eyes, scrubbed them underwater, and just left the skin on. Red potatoes have a lower glycemic index. So if you're not sure what that means, it means that it doesn't raise your blood sugar as high as, say, a white potato. Yellow potatoes could be used as well, and those are even healthier. So the less white something is, typically the healthier it is for you, and you can certainly see how beautifully green these leaves are. Beautiful, or bellissimo, as we say in Italian. So we're going to be adding all of this now as well.
First the potatoes, the last part is the green leaves because they cook real quickly. But I do want to show you these mats. I have several of them, and they're fantastic for cutting and clean, easy to clean. But the nice part about them is you just pick it up and scoop it in the pan. You don't have to touch anything with your hands. You can just put the potatoes and everything right on here and drop them in.
And you're probably noticing my long hair is not tied back because it's just cooking for Mom and I. We are doing this video during the COVID-19 season, or during the coronavirus quarantine season. So nobody's eating with us. It is just us two. And so you are enjoying how we eat.
So you see, everything is on the mat. You do not have to transfer with your hands. And you simply drop it in.
Now, one of the things we don't have on the table, but you also could add, would be mushrooms. You can certainly add mushrooms, especially if you're going to add the eggs. We've made this in the past where we have not added the eggs, and it was delicious. And I think adding the eggs would just give it a little bit more of a brunch feel. You know, you can use it for breakfast or lunch or brunch. And certainly if you want to add mushrooms, you can do that as well.
So we're going to add eggs today, and a little secret about cracking an egg. People worry about getting the shell in the egg, and the secret to that is not to crack it on the bowl, but to crack it on a flat surface, and that will eliminate you getting shells in the egg sheets. And as I said, we're going to crack not on the bowl, but on a flat surface, because that doesn't get the shells in the egg. When you crack on the bowl, you'll get the shell.
Masterpiece. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but a little hack, if you do get the shell in here, you use the shell and scoop it out. Works every time. Amazing little life hack. By Sherry Ann. Okay, how many more do you need?
We're going to do that basket full. There's about 5 or 6 in there.
Now, I may have spoken a little too soon. I hope I don't get any eggshells in here, but so far we haven't gotten any. We're using farm fresh eggs. We're using Leeks that a friend gave us. We have a farmer friend that brings us leeks and eggs, and certainly working with fresh food straight from the farm, not covered in any industrial chemicals and things like that. What a different, wonderful, nutritious, fresh taste that has. Okay, so there's 5 right there. Do you want the 6th one?
Let's scramble it up and see what we got. Also, I'm sure you know, to make your eggs a little fluffier, you can add a little water or a little bit of milk.
All right.
Now, the next thing that we're going to do is add the green leaves. So Sherry Ann's going to pick up the red mat.
And this one stay from in for me.
And you can scrape them in or shake them in. It's an easy tool. And these look like they're going to overpower the pan, but they don't. They cook right down. And we have a few more to add there.
We once again have wiped everything down before we began.
And before we add the egg, we'll show you what this looks like without the egg. And then we'll add the egg.
Oh, and I think they can see just a little bit of what's going on there. See how beautiful, colorful, nutritious. And we've got all the, pretty much all the food groups there. We've got our carbohydrates, we've got our protein, we have our vegetables. Really, really healthy, nutritious meal.
Now you can eat it just like that, but we're adding eggs today, but that is a complete meal in itself.
But what's amazing once again is that we're using the entire plant. So talking about coronavirus and talking about quarantine, you know, you want to make the best out of everything that you, the most out of everything that you have. And so we're eating the bulb, we're eating the stem, the leaf, everything, and getting the full nutritional value.
You can show them how that's cooking down nicely. Just about ready for the eggs now. I'm going to add a little water to the eggs to fluff them up a little.
That did go off once again. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely beautiful and amazing? Okay, I think we're getting ready for the eggs. Now, once this turns off, which it just did, I have to start it up again.
Just push the start button.
Just hit the start button and the New Wave stovetop starts right back up.
It goes
again.
right back to the temperature you left it at.
Right back to the temperature.
Okay, so we are ready to add our eggs. And I'm going to let Sherry Ann scramble that up through there for you.
We understand that the Israelites, we can certainly see why they wanted to go back to eat this wonderfully nutritious food. But what did Jesus tell us? He says, man shall not live by bread alone. So even though they only had, we'll add just the last bit of eggs here, even though they only had manna, and they were complaining about it once they left Egypt, they didn't have the leeks anymore, they just had manna, they just had bread. God sustained them because it's not only about the physical bread, it's about the spiritual bread. If you want to talk to them a little bit more about hungering after Him and the things that we really need in this world.
Well, truthfully, as we said, we do not need just bread alone, but we need His Word. And His Word is not only a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path, but it is a way to sustain us when we can't see a path.
Amen.
Or when we feel like we're going over a cliff. His Word will sustain us. You know, people could live on bread and water in many ways, in many days. And we can too. We can live on His bread and we can live on His living water. Some of us may be experiencing that right now with what is going on. So many people have lost incomes and lost jobs and lost their health. But if we hold on to His Word and we hold on to His way, we will be able to sustain ourselves through this storm.
Amen. So no matter what life hands you, you can make it work. Because in Christ, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So we are just about ready to
You can show them this.
wrap up this meal.
You want to show them the finished product.
I'll let the master finish fluffing it up for you and putting her final touches on it, and then we'll show it to you. And I think this is a meal unto itself. We don't need to serve this with anything, right?
No, you can eat this just the way it is. Can you see how colorful and beautiful that is? And it's got so many healthy things in it, as we've described numerous times. But the color is
very
just
rich.
Beautiful.
So, my friends, we thank you once again for being with us on another edition of Life Talk. And this is an episode where we're talking about the things that matter most. And to an Italian kitchen, that would be food. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.